Welcome back to Under the Moonlight, the Central Valley Chronicles, where the orchards are quiet, but the stories are anything but.
I'm Scott Sorensen, founder of Sorensen Consulting.
And I'm Patty Shoy from Patty's Homes. Tonight, we're heading out past the lights of Merced into a region where silence speaks in strange tones, and every road feels like it has a secret. La Grande, a tiny farming town carved into the heart of the Central Valley, the kind of place where people wave from their porches and the moonlight sky stretches so wide it feels endless.
But sometimes that endlessness stares back, and when it does, it can leave a mark.
This is The Lights Over La Grande.
In the fall of 1992, Danny and Rosa were a newlywed couple. They were heading home after dinner with Rosa's family in Fresno. The kind of evening that sticks with you. Warm food, good laughs, and the sort of company that softens the edge after a long week. They opted to take the back roads home, the shortcut they'd taken before. Almond orchards on either side, flat terrain as far as the eye could see. It was 11:15 p.m. A crescent moon was above them, with stars scattered, thinly veiled by rolling clouds. No traffic, no lights, just a steady thump of tires over gravel, and the headlights dancing over the rows of trees.
They were replaying a story Rosa's uncle had told, a folk tale about ghosts along the canal that once swallowed an entire tractor during harvest. Danny laughed, teasing her for flinching. Rosa rolled her eyes, but then her eyes caught something off to the east. Three faint lights hovering, not moving like a plane, not blinking like a radio tower, just floating. Then they rearranged.
Danny eased off the accelerator. "Hold up," he said. "Is that a plane? A helicopter?" The lights pulsed in a strange rhythm. Yellow, then red, then a sharp cobalt blue. They stretched into a line, snapped into a triangle, broke formation, then reassembled instantly. No noise, no wind, just movement, intelligent, deliberate, and silent.
The lights passed once over the orchard low, barely above the treetops. Then, poof, gone. Rosa gasped, but before she could speak, they were back, closer, directly above the road ahead. Danny pulled over without hesitation. The car stopped, lights off, engines humming. Then, stillness.
No breeze, no crickets, just a smell of dry earth and almonds clinging in the night air. Rosa would later say it felt like the earth took a breath and never let it out. A subtle vibration crept in, like standing too close to a generator. Not loud, just bone deep. Rosa said her fingers tingled. Danny felt pressure behind his eyes, almost like altitude sickness. Then the triangle appeared again above them, this time clear and massive. The lights locked in a perfect geometry. From the center of the triangle, a beam of light dropped down. It wasn't white, it was an electric blue, casting long shadows and illuminating the particles in the air like a winter frost.
Danny opened the door slowly, moved like a sleepwalker. Rosa screamed his name, "Danny!" out, muffled, like yelling underwater. She reached for him, but he was already standing beneath the beam, looking straight up. Then everything froze.
They weren't sure how long had passed. It could have been seconds, it could have been hours. When they came to, they were back in the car, engine running, radio sputtering static. It was 3:33 a.m., 3 whole hours gone.
Neither remembered getting back in the car. The headlights were on, the station on the radio was playing jazz, but neither had turned it on. Rosa's earrings, heirlooms from her grandmother, were missing. Danny blinked at the dashboard in confusion. When he rubbed the back of his neck, he winced. Rosa leaned over and pulled down his collar. There on his skin, centered, was a circular red burn. No peeling, just a perfect, fresh ring.
They said nothing for the rest of the drive, not a single word. Legrand never looked so empty. Every shadow felt heavier. Every mailbox looked unfamiliar. They reached home, locked every door, and turned on every light. Danny took a shower and didn't speak. Rosa curled up on the couch, shaking. He left the TV on, volume low, just noise. The silence felt too close, too deliberate. They never told their families, never filed a report, but Danny soon sold the car. And Rosa bought blackout curtains, and she never wore silver earrings again. They never once, never drove down that road again after sundown.
Legrand has whispers, not loud ones, not often, but if you sit at the diner on Main Street around closing time, you might hear talk of flashing lights above the fields, or cows found miles from where they vanished, or even dogs refusing to go outside. Even now, decades later, locals mention the triangle quietly. There's a family outside of Planada who keeps floodlights running dusk to dawn, not for thieves, but for watchers.
Now, we're not here to claim certainty. There's enough skepticism to keep half the country grounded. But for every skeptic, there's someone who's seen too much. A delivery driver who swears the road curved one night where it never had before. A field worker who lost time picking pomegranates, only to wake up in his truck with boots still full of mud. And a woman near El Nido who wakes up every night at 3:33 a.m. No alarm set, no explanation.
So what are we seeing in the Central Valley? Fault lines in time? Unknown aircrafts? Something buried in the soil since before the orchards came? After all, the Central Valley has had UFO sightings over the years, and aerial objects seen by night shift workers. Maybe it's nothing, or maybe this valley is a thin place, a sliver where the veil between dimensions wears thin, where things not of this world slip through, even just for a moment.
Annie and Rosa never asked for answers, but sometimes unanswered questions are part of the story. The mystery is the point. The Central Valley runs deep, and sometimes what runs beneath runs stranger than fiction.
Have you seen lights in the sky you can explain? Lost time? Heard a vibration with no source? Share your story in the comments below.
To the night owls, keeping watch while the world sleeps, firefighters, nurses, truckers, police officers, thank you. You keep our community stitched together under the stars.
Until next time, watch the skies, watch the roads, and always
Stay safe under the moonlight.